Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how we helped one of our clients, Baton, generate over $200,000 in revenue within 90 days just using cold email. I'm going to tell you exactly how we approach their campaigns, how we set up the infrastructure, how we built the lead lists, how we wrote the scripts. I'm going to be showing you everything from A to Z. So hopefully by the end of this video, you'll be able to generate similar results for your own campaigns. Now, before we get into it, here's some proof just so that you actually see that we got these results and that I'm not making up these numbers myself. This is an interview that I had with the founder of the company, Phil, where he clearly shares that we helped them generate over $150,000 in the first 30 days of launching campaigns. And at the time of recording this video, we've been working with Baton for around 90 days, and that $150,000 in revenue has now become over $200,000 in revenue, and they've now closed over 20 deals as well, just through cold email. So if you haven't watched that video already, where Phil is directly sharing all the ways that we've helped them, then make sure to check that out as well. But in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the exact case study, so what exactly we did behind the scenes in order to make these results possible. Now, here are a couple more screenshots from the campaigns. This is specifically from SmartLead. You can see all the replies, how many emails we've sent, all the positive replies we've generated, and we've generated dozens of positive replies, specifically 150 positive leads generated. So just going back to the results, they closed 150,000 in the first 30 days, 200,000 over 80 days, 150 leads generated, and through those 150 leads, over 20 of them have now turned into paying clients. Now, just for some context, if you don't know who I am, before we get into the actual strategies, my name is Alexander. I'm the founder and CEO at SparkLead. We are a done-for-you lead generation agency, and we specialize in cold outreach for B2B companies. Now, at the time of recording this video, I've sent over 5 million cold emails on behalf of my clients. I booked over 1,000 sales calls, and through those sales calls, we generated 1.2 million in closed revenue and 4.5 million in sales pipeline for my clients. So now that you have all the background information, let's dive in. I'm going to start off by giving you some context about the company, and then we'll dive into the exact strategies that we used. So Baton is basically a B2B SaaS company. It's a B2B platform that helps home service companies generate more leads, but also monetize their excess leads and unused opportunities. The problem that they came to us with was that they needed more qualified leads and sales appointments for their sales team. And this is the problem that most people come to us with. Now, before working with us, they had already tried a bunch of different other lead gen strategies to generate more leads. They had hired US-based sales reps, Philippine cold callers, but they wasted too much time coaching these reps and these cold callers, and the results just didn't justify the investment. And they also tried a bunch of other lead generation methods through social media to generate leads, but nothing was working profitably to the point where they could justify investing in that channel over the long term. So when I first spoke to Phil, this is exactly what he told me that he wanted. He wanted consistent outreach campaigns to potential clients in his specific industry, done for you campaign setup and management, and then also qualified sales appointments delivered to their sales team. So in a nutshell, they just wanted someone to come into their business, set up an entire system that generates leads on autopilot without him or his team having to do any prospecting work. We came into their business and we completely rebuilt their lead generation from the ground up. They had tried everything before, as I mentioned previously, human SDRs, other agencies, different channels, but nothing worked profitably. So now I'm going to run you through the 5-step process that we used to generate over 20 deals and 200K in revenue within 90 days. So we started by getting a complete understanding of their business, their offer, and their ICP. We analyzed their business in 15 different aspects, from their value proposition to their ICP specific pain points. And then we also studied all of their previous outreach attempts to see what worked, what didn't work, and why. And the reason why we did this is so we can avoid the same mistakes, but also use anything that did work. So once we had a really good understanding of the type of business that we were working with, we then went ahead and we set up the infrastructure. So we built them a proper email infrastructure with 100 email accounts spread across 50 domains. Those email accounts were set up with Google and Outlook. We did 50% with Google, 50% with Outlook, and then we let all the email accounts warm up for around 14 days while we gradually increased the sending volume to build sender reputation. And then during those 14 days, we also started building the lead lists and writing the scripts so that when the warm-up process finishes, we are ready to launch the campaigns. And that brings me on to step number 3, which is script development and messaging. So as the email accounts were warming up, we started to analyze all their previous campaigns and all their previous messaging to understand what resonated with the market and then what didn't resonate with the market. Once we had a good understanding of that, we wrote the personalized scripts that were super direct, they were super straight to the point. We added spin tags and we removed all the spam words so we're covered from a deliverability perspective. And then we just made sure that every message was tailored to their specific value proposition and to their ICP's pain points and desires. Then we move on to step number 4, which is a lead list building and data enrichment. So we built high quality lead lists using multiple databases, starting with Apollo and ListKit for more general prospecting. And then we used Outscraper to find local businesses through Google Maps. Then we ran everything through Million Verifiers so we can verify all the data, make sure it's up to date, all the contact details we have. And then we ran those verified lead lists through Clay to enrich the data further. Now, finally, once the email accounts were warmed up, once the scripts were all written out, and once the lead lists have been built, we then launched the campaign and started managing the inbox so we can start delivering qualified sales appointments to their calendar. So we launched the campaigns across all email accounts. We were monitoring and tracking all the metrics. We handled their entire inbox management so that every reply got qualified, every lead got followed up with, and then we scheduled all their sales meetings. So essentially all they needed to do was just show up to the sales calls and close the deals. And then as a result of this 5-step process, once we launched the campaigns, the replies started coming in really fast. So within the first 5 days of launching the campaign, we were getting dozens of qualified replies and booking tons of meetings. And by day 30, they had closed 16 deals worth $150,000 in new revenue. And then by day 90, they hit over 20 deals and over $200,000 in new revenue. And the key in this entire process was that every lead we delivered to their sales team was highly qualified. These weren't random prospects. We only sent emails to their exact ideal client profile. And these were companies that actually needed their solution and also had the budget to buy. Now, there are 5 main reasons why this strategy worked so well specifically for Baton. First of all, we created an irresistible front-end offer. This was the biggest reason why this campaign crushed it so much, and it was because of the offer we developed. We worked with them to craft something that had extreme product market fit to the point where responding to the email was the more obvious choice. And not responding and ignoring the email almost didn't make sense because of how clear the value was. So when these home service companies saw what Baton was offering, the value was so clear that saying no was actually a harder decision than saying yes. The second reason why this strategy works so well is because we hit untapped, less saturated markets. So instead of relying on mass databases like Apollo and ListKit, where all prospects on those databases are getting hammered with cold emails, we used niche directories and also Google Maps to find local home service businesses that receive far less cold emails. So what that meant is that we weren't just one email out of the 20 that they were receiving on a daily basis. If anything, we were the only email that they were receiving on a daily basis purely because their contact information was harder to find, meaning that they were receiving less emails, and that just gave us an unfair advantage in that market. The third reason this strategy works so well is because we set up a premium infrastructure that never burned. So we built them a robust setup that could handle tens of thousands of emails on a monthly basis, and we encountered 0 deliverability issues over the entire 90 days. So while we see a lot of other campaigns burning out after a few days or weeks, we were able to send 10, 20, 30, even 40,000 emails per month, and we were consistently hitting our prospects' primary inbox. Now, the fourth reason it works so well is because we never stopped following up with interested leads. So we used a 3-step sequence initially, but once we got that interested response, we made sure to follow up with those leads until we either got the meeting booked or until we lost the actual lead. And this is where most agencies and most B2B businesses go wrong when it comes to cold email. They don't have a proper follow-up system in place. So they send a few follow-ups and then they give up. We generated over 150 leads within 90 days, and we followed up with every single lead indefinitely until we got a response. So what that meant is that every single lead, we would convert a few more prospects, not because we reached out to more people, but just because we were persistent with our follow-ups. And the final reason why we were able to get these results is because Baton already had a lot of credibility within the space. So Baton was already a really solid company with a good reputation. They had a credible brand name. So when we did send the cold emails and prospects looked up the company or they looked up the founder of the company, then everything checked out, everything made sense, and it wasn't some sketchy startup trying to cold email their way to success. So if you're watching this video and you run a B2B company and you're also thinking of launching cold email campaigns, or you might already be running cold email campaigns, These are the key components that you need. You need a scalable email infrastructure, and you need multiple domains and email accounts for volume. You need high quality prospect data. So you need targeted lead lists that match your exact ICP. You need to verify the information, and you need enriched contact information. You need personalized messaging, meaning scripts that are tailored specifically to your market with personalization. And you need to continue optimizing the scripts based on performance data that you should be analyzing on a weekly basis. And finally, you need professional campaign management, meaning that you need someone who is monitoring the inbox 24/7 in order to be able to respond to interested leads within the first 5-10 minutes. Now, what does all this mean for your business? If you're a B2B company that is struggling to generate consistent leads, if you've tried other methods that weren't profitable, or if you just want a system that actually delivers qualified prospects, this same process that I'm describing to you right now can work for your business. But in order to make that possible, you need three things. You need a predictable lead system. So the biggest difference between companies that struggle and companies that scale is having a predictable system for generating leads. And cold email, when executed correctly, gives you that predictability and consistency. The second factor you need to take into account is the compound effect of consistent outreach. Every campaign we run builds on the previous ones. So your prospects start seeing your name regularly, they build familiarity with your company and trust. And this compound effect means better results over time. It's exactly the same thing with posting on social media, where if you're posting for a 6-month period or for a 12-month period, and people have been seeing your name, they've been seeing your company, they've been seeing your posts over a long period of time, they now almost feel like they know you. So the chances of you being able to convert that prospect or just getting in touch with them in any form increases massively. So just like any other lead generation channel out there, if you're going to be running cold email campaigns for a 15-day period, then don't expect to see any significant results because you're not allowing this compounding effect to occur. And finally, when you use cold email, it means you can scale your business without hiring a whole team. So unlike hiring SDRs or building an internal team, our system scales immediately. So you can get the results of having an entire SDR team, but without the overhead, without the training, and without the management headaches. So the bottom line is that cold email works, but only when you have the right process in place. And that's because the difference is in the details. You need the right infrastructure, you need good data quality, you need good messaging, and you need flawless inbox management if you want to be generating leads and qualifying sales appointments through cold email. Because 9 out of 10 times, it's not a matter of cold email not working for your specific situation, or cold email not working for your business or for your niche, or cold email not resonating for the specific types of prospects you want to be reaching out to. All these things are just false beliefs that a lot of business owners have purely because they've had a bad experience with cold email. And why did they have a bad experience with cold email? Because they didn't execute properly. And at the end of the day, the results speak for themselves. We generated $200,000 in 90 days with 20 closed deals just through cold email. And this exact strategy that I'm walking you through right now will work for your business if you have the right infrastructure in place. Because if you don't have the right infrastructure and the right systems, then you cannot consistently generate qualified leads over a long period of time. The next thing is that you need to be able to target your ideal customer profile with precision. So you need to conduct in-depth market research so you know exactly what your prospects need, and then position yourself and your solution as exactly what they've been looking for. And then finally, you just need to have a mechanism for turning leads into cash through your sales process. So it could be a sales call, a demo, or some sort of a consultation in order to be able to turn those interested prospects into paying clients. Now, in order to do everything that I've mentioned above, in order to get similar results to the ones that we've generated for Baton, you'll have to research and analyze your ideal customer profile thoroughly. You'll need to set up proper email infrastructure with multiple domains and email accounts, warm up those email accounts for 14 days to build sender reputation, write personalized scripts that speak directly to your prospects' pain points. You'll need to build high quality lead lists using multiple data sources, enrich and verify all your contact data for maximum deliverability, set up proper campaign sequences and sending schedules, manage your inbox on a daily basis, and qualify every single reply. You'll need to track performance metrics and optimize based on real data on a weekly basis. You'll need to handle follow-ups and meeting scheduling professionally. And then you'll need to make sure that deliverability is optimized throughout the entire campaign, from infrastructure setup to the scripts to the sending patterns, because deliverability is not something that you just need to worry about if a problem occurs or something that you need to worry about after 3 months. Taking care of your deliverability is present throughout the entire outreach process. So now that you know exactly what you need to do, the choice is yours. You can either do all this yourself, or we can do it for you and help you sign an additional 1 to 3 new clients a month through targeted cold email campaigns. Now, if you want to see some of our other client results, you can check out our website at sparkleadgo.com. And I'm also going to scroll through a couple of videos here just so you can see that we also have some more testimonials. And if you are interested in exploring the opportunity of working with us, then just click on the first link in the description to book a call with me. And just a quick note here, this is for agencies and B2B companies that are doing more than 50K a month. Now, if you're doing less than 50K a month, then just click on the second link in the description, fill in the application form, and then if we're a good fit to work together, then I'll reach out as soon as possible. And finally, if you are interested in working with me, whether it's for our done for you service or for cold email mentorship, but you don't fit any of the criteria that I've mentioned, then just DM me on Twitter at Alex Zartarian with the keyword cold email. We might still be able to work together, but I'll just ask you a few questions in the DMs and then we'll take it from there. So thank you for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, then please don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave any questions that you have in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.